So, Timothy Cox, you mentioned in your talk that when you went to the Lib Dem conference in Liverpool last month, there was quite a lot of pessimism among members of the party. Do you think they need to be pessimistic about a loss of identity, having entered into the coalition with the Conservatives?
I don't. I actually think they should be very, very optimistic about the coalition with the Conservatives. I think that a lot of the sort of potential divide in the Liberal Democrat Party has been artificially hyped up by the media. I think it makes a good story. But I generally do feel that Liberals have their own core set of beliefs. It's very, very distinct from Conservatism. They're in no way compatible. Liberals sort of sit in one area. They believe in the sort of decentralisation of the state, localism, internationalism. It's very, very distinct from Conservatism, even sort of perhaps the newer brand of Cameron Conservatism. And so I think what Liberals should focus upon is ensuring that this government works, that they manage to put their imprint upon the agenda as much as possible and ensure that they get the best for the people that voted for them, and ultimately we should be very, very pleased to see them in power.
What do you think the big things are that the Lib Dem ministers in government now need to be able to point to when they next face the electorate in 2015?
I think voting reform is sort of a very big issue. We're yet to see sort of how that's going to pan out. But I think in terms of social mobility, which is going to be one of the key issues coming into 2015, especially if economic growth continues the way it's forecasted and we recover nicely from the depression, people are going to be looking at what's with the Liberal Democrats have done when they're in power to ensure that we belong in a more equal society. One of the big issues has got to be scrapping tax on the lowest earners in society. We've got to make sure that people have every incentive to go out, to get jobs, to further their own careers, and taxing the lowest earners makes no sense. So increasing the bottom tax bracket to £10,000 a year would be a very, very positive step, and one that we should ensure happens.
And what would you say to Lib Dems who are concerned that, in a sense, you lose a bit of your ideological purity by going into a coalition with somebody else?
Well, I have to say I think that's absolute nonsense. I don't think you do lose any of your ideological purity. As proponents of electoral reform, we're advocating a system, in theory, that would produce a lot more coalition governments. We believe that coalition governments are beneficial to society. They sort of alienate the extremes of either party, and therefore you get a more balanced and a fairer system for the people. And I don't think there need to be any concerns about that at all.
Okay, Timothy Cox, thank you very much.